Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
I don't hear Barnes. Hello, can you hear me? Everyone can hear me, though. Tony, can you hear yourself? I mean, my bad.
Number four.
Yeah,
You don't hear Brian.
Barnes. So weird. Oh.
What? Oh. Sabotage?
Are we back? And we are back.
Sabotage.
Dude. A saboteur, dude.
Dude, Pikachu.
Wow, you son of a bitch.
Pikachu did it. But once again, of course, the Three Musketeers, me, Michael, Tony.
Dude, how are you?
How you guys doing today?
Dude, it's a glorious day out. I'm so happy.
It's Thursday. And it's a day further away from another postseason disappointment. And I know this is kind of off script here, Michael, but I'm just wondering, I don't know if it's just my end, but for some reason the thumbnails just showing on YouTube. I don't know if that's
really
just my computer, not for some reason the thumb.
Nope, I got you.
That's gonna be a bite. Okay, yeah, we're good now. But anyway, yeah, another day past the postseason disappointment. But of course, yesterday, Hal Steinbrenner, just another knife into the chest here, and is just quoting him directly. This is an article on APnews.com. As far as Boone's concerned, we just signed him, and for all the reasons that I listed a year ago, I believe he's a very good manager. Steinbrenner said as he left the Yankees player development complex. I don't see a change there. We didn't get the job done. It's time to get it done. Anytime we don't win a championship, it's a disappointing year. We had a lot of good ups. We had some downs. We had some injuries just like everyone else. He continued on. Mr. Poo-Poo. But you've got to give it to the Astros. They're a very good team to top. We just didn't bring our A game. Now, I think that shows two things. One, I think his PR team, made those statements for him. Mm-hmm. And number two, everybody's talking about they're going over or under 20 games that he watched. And I honestly think under. I really just don't think he's just looking at the end of the month, how much revenue he's getting from the stadium and his TV deals. And then did you guys hear too? Number 42, Mariano Rivera literally said if it was up to him, he would fire Boone. I cannot believe he did that.
Yeah. He said, I think he said basically sometimes things don't work and it falls on the manager. You never blame the players.
Right.
It's all that's who gets the blame, and it hasn't worked. So time to change it up.
And you know who was really defending Aaron Boone yesterday?
Who?
Michael K, dude.
Oh.
And it is so ridiculous. And it's so funny because he prefaces, you can say what you want about me, but like, I'm not partial or whatever. I'm just saying, you lost, a one game, wild card series with the Red Sox 2 years ago, and you made it to the championship series here. Like, how could you blame Aaron Boone, whatever? And it's like, dude,
it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. And
really?
It's like,
a fanboy.
You know how I would counter that? Even all of that aside, it's like, but at the end of the day, why is it necessary for him to be the manager?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Just like, you could defend it all you want, but what is the actual reason? And there really isn't one, other than, like I've said many times, even though, how much money could he be making? $1 million? It's like, just literally because Hal doesn't want to pay two managers.
Is he really making $1 million?
It can't be. I'm actually curious how much he's making. He's not one of the upper end managers. Let's see. Aaron Boone salary.
Yeah, 6 seasons, 5.5 is what he had. No, years, 6 seasons, 1 season, 2.5. Estimated career earnings. Oh, this is for
so
years.
It says 3 years with the option at $4 million.
No,
hold on, I'm gonna see it. Oh, this of course is the Athletic. I think let's see. Will this let me see? I hate when they like don't.
Yeah, just
I
like
think his
say it,
first
you know?
contract though was 3 years, $4 million, like before he signed the extension. What? This is so annoying, but I guess we'll figure it out eventually. But I think
Research department, are they on it?
my producer's in my ear here.
Move the fuck on, Brian.
But it's so bad, and especially the fact too. I mean, you would think you know how all the bad stuff we say about him. You would think Mariano Rivera making that call would have at least some type of effect on him, but clearly,
Well, nothing's been happened yet. So.
right. I
happened
mean,
yet.
I guess he could pivot, but he just doesn't see it. He seems like someone who's very
You
stubborn,
can pivot.
and refuses to pivot. And it's
All right, Ross.
you know, and what do you think's going to happen here? You know, all of this going on, uncertainty. I mean, Cashman doesn't have a contract right now, and you're going to have this, you know, exclusive window to negotiate with Judge. I mean, what do you think's going to happen here, Tony?
With
Judge.
Judge here?
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, I really hope there's you know a part of me that's gonna be like, oh, like Cashman's gonna say, well, you know, we didn't really win anything, you know, so you know, you didn't do very well in the playoffs necessarily. You know, maybe we're gonna like not offer you exactly what you want. You know, we're gonna try to negotiate a little bit in our favor here. But I mean, if I was them, if I was Cashman, if I was Hal, it's just whatever Judge wants.
Yeah, and I think too, and I
Whatever Judge
and
needs.
because I do
Yeah.
think there's a sense of Hal too that he just cares about being embarrassed, and I just feel like how embarrassing will it be? You know, they lowball him. He signs with the Giants opening day. He's in the outfield for the Giants. I feel like that is just going to be a complete mess at the stadium opening day. Like,
I mean, if at this point, if he's on any other team besides the Yankees, it's going to be complete.
oh
mess.
yeah, but I'm
Like,
saying the Giants
yeah,
even
specifically, yeah.
accelerates it with
on the Mets, it's going to be worse too.
So I almost think I think that, you know, in their eyes,
You have the
they
Mets
don't
card next.
they don't want to
Buy the
pay
jersey.
they don't want to pay the salary, but I just think because of the PR nightmare, I think that will put it over the edge.
What do you
for them
think
to get it
Judge
done.
wants?
I mean, I want to say it's at the minimum 7 years and approaching $300 million, and that's at the minimum because
Yeah.
40 would be 280. So you throw in the extra 5, yeah. So like around 300 million for 7 years, and I think that'll do it. Yep, and it's like
It's a lot of money, dude.
it's a lot of money, but I mean, you get a captain, and you really just like now's the time. Just fix the problems and like just do it. And you know, and I'm not. That's not to say that I'm not in favor of a big part of this being, you know, all the prospects starting next year. You know, Cabrera, Peraza, and Volpe, and in some respect, Austin Wells, and then you know, mixing and matching in free agency. You know, Carlos Rodon. I mean, especially the fact, you know, Tyone had a kind of a goodbye Instagram post the other day. So you're gonna have to replace him. And then I think, you know, whether it's someone who's ready for the majors or not, I really am in favor of the Severino trade. You know, just from the fact of that his value is pretty high, 1 year deal, $15 million. You know, he's under 30 years old. I think you can get a good haul. Do you agree with that, Tony?
Absolutely. How old did you say he was?
28,
Dude. Yeah.
because
trade.
I mean, you know, he hasn't shown he could stay healthy or produce in the postseason. So as good as his stuff is, I don't know if we can count on him. And it's like, why, you know what I mean? Because then also, you know, let's say this season miraculously he goes out healthy all year. Then he's going to want a big contract. Are you really going to keep him anyway, knowing what's happened before? And especially if he doesn't have another, he has another weak postseason.
Right. Yeah, it's going to put the Yankees in a tough position. I mean,
yeah, exactly. And, you know, I think, you know, I've just been reading some articles, kind of, you know, a synopsis of the season. Another thing that they're saying is maybe the reason for this slide, you know, second half of the year, and obviously the disappointing postseason had to do with the trade deadline. The fact that Glaber was basically traded, and then at the 11th hour, that trade was rescinded. Bless you. You know, no one expecting Jordan Montgomery to get traded. He gets dealt, and I know it worked out with Bader, but I think a lot of guys in the locker room held him in high regard. And even Joey Gallo, who all of us fans hated, I do think he was most likely really loved and appreciated in the clubhouse. Was that the air?
It's a saboteur, dude.
Bro, I
Dude.
swear I thought that was Renee just like slamming the
Busting
door
in,
open.
yeah.
Yeah, one of the
It's a
top
cool
Steelers.
breeze though right now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
great
Leave
cross breeze
Leave
here.
it.
Yeah. Nobody move.
So, those are the kind of things, that I have in mind. And I think, I don't, even though it would be funny, I think the contract wouldn't work out. So I don't want to, even though the bullpen's a concern, I don't want to poach Diaz from the Mets. They could sign it for $20 million if they want. And I would definitely add some relievers and, try to work within what you have. And I wouldn't be surprised as long as he's healthy, Tony. I mean, tell me I'm wrong here. Michael King should be the closer next season. You can have Clay Holmes be a setup guy, right? Or no?
Oh, yeah,
I know
dude.
it's crazy I'm saying this after all these years, but we saw how much they missed him after he went down.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that was like one of the biggest blows to their bullpen, I feel.
Yeah.
He was absolutely on fire all season, surprisingly, to a lot of fans, including Brian. And, he was one of those great tools that you felt comfortable with. You had confidence in one of those few tools they had that you had confidence in. So absolutely put him in the closer position.
And, I would think he's a lock to miss at least half the season. But if it was up to you, would you sign Chad Green to a 2-year deal or a 1-and-1 deal?
What's his injury?
It was elbow surgery. But I think he went down in May.
Yeah.
So you think about a year this
from there.
May,
So
even if he needs
basically
more time,
opening day.
All-Star break, he should be fine.
Yeah, why not? 2 years?
I hope they do that because I think, you just want to have a strong bullpen. And like I've said, I mean, the big free agent contracts for closers, other than Mariano Rivera, obviously, he ended up re-signing with the Yankees, but other than paying him, it just does not work out to pay a closer that much money. See Aroldis Chapman. And obviously the contract was less, but what the Yankees were paying for Ottavino, and I know it ended up working out with the Mets this year. But that's just another example. And in David Robertson, to a respect, when he signed his free agency deal with the White Sox. So those are just examples that I've noticed. And I really hope, they can move some salary around. And, I've mentioned this to you about Trey Turner before, but I could really see, Trey Turner working out if they're able to trade Stanton. And I'm not dying to trade Stanton, but I could see, obviously the Dodgers have their eyes set on Judge. Let's say, they miss out on him. Do you think it would highly benefit the Yankees to trade Stanton, but then sign Turner?
Wow, dude. I would think so. I mean, Trey Turner, he brings a little bit, I would say more versatility, I guess, to the Yankees. Not to mention, he's got a quick bat. He's got, he can have power too as well. And his speed is it's just so good,
Yeah. When was the last time the Yankees had somebody like that with power and speed? I mean, Alfonso Soriano, but he couldn't hit for average. Turner's a 300 hitter.
Turner is so good, dude. I mean, you see him making, crazy plays in the infield. You see him, electric, base running and stuff like that. That's what the Yankees need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I know like you don't like shuffling positions around, but I think you could work something out where either Peraza or Volpe plays third base because then Turner plays short. One of them plays second. You got Cabrera in the outfield and, with Bader and Judge.
Can Turner play third or no?
I'll have to look that up. I don't know. You would think Trey Turner with his athleticism would be able to play anywhere. But I just really think that would be a difference maker. It also says he's played the outfield. So obviously too, but center field, I guess he's played, but still, I mean, I'm sure you could learn
shortstop,
one of
second
the other
baseman, it says as well.
Yeah, no third base. But if you play short, you could play third in my eyes. I think it's harder to go from third to short than vice versa. So 29 years old, will turn 30 on June 30th of next year. So that's who I have my eyes on. And I would like Rodon as well. Maybe one reliever, then work with your system, see what you get back for Severino. You cut the dead weight with Donaldson and Hicks and IKF. Maybe they look at catcher, but I don't think it's a bad idea to just have Wells and Trevino. And I know Trevino, really struggled with the bat down the stretch, but what he does from framing to calling a game, I think is invaluable. And that's why, the Yankee pitching was as good as it's been in a long time. So I think that's the solid plan moving forward. And even if you have to have Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone, you do those things. you give yourself by far the best chance to win. Have you heard anything in regards to the Mets offseason plans? DeGrom, Nimmo, Walker, all that, Bassett, Diaz.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. I mean, obviously the biggest storyline is going to be for DeGrom. And honestly, a lot of the murmuring is letting DeGrom leave, honestly, and pursuing Ohtani.
Wow.
Would be a lot of what people are talking about. Of course, getting Ohtani would obviously, you put someone, as your ace, next to Scherzer at that point, as well as adding that bat, the DH spot, for when he's not pitching and everything. So, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens. I haven't heard much after that. I mean, if it's up to me, obviously Walker could walk. Nimmo, I think, is going to be sticking around.
I heard I don't see where he fits, but I heard some rumors the Yankees might be interested. Really? I don't really want him, honestly.
No, not the leadoff hitter you're looking for.
Trey Turner.
Yeah,
Trey Turner's perfect. You would love him on the Mets.
Oh, are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah, you're setting the table. Dude. It's about setting the tone.
He's so good, dude.
Yeah.
And you talk about just like stand-up guy, not really having any baggage coming along with anything like that.
Exactly.
It's just a great clubhouse attitude, it seems. But yeah, and then I was reading some article about whether or not keeping Vogel back around
$1.5 million option. I mean, 1.5.
Yeah,
I mean, he could play in AAA if you need him to.
Exactly. Yeah. So it probably isn't terrible, and just have him, coming off the bench if needed. Like I think it's solid.
Yeah, and so that'll be interesting. I'm just trying to think though. Obviously the Angels are going to want the whole sky for Ohtani. You think of Alvarez, you think of Beatty. And then who's the other guy?
We always forget this guy, the other guy, Mauricio.
I mean, so basically, you have to give him your top 10 prospects, maybe.
Probably, dude.
Yeah, but obviously, you're whatever it takes.
I really would like to keep Alvarez.
But what if it's
on Craig?
Craig. What if it comes with a 7-year contract extension? Because obviously this is he's going to be a free agent, but you get him locked in for 7 years. But you get to trade top 10 prospects.
That was pretty nice, Brian.
You're in.
Yeah.
Wow, Ohtani in the Big Apple.
That'd be huge, dude.
So could be an exciting offseason. We'll see. And I definitely miss baseball, and I know it's ironic because obviously the World Series starts tomorrow. But it's just come on,
dude. I can't believe there's been this many off days. By the way.
Oh yeah. But then they don't want to have them when the series starts. You got to be more flexible.
Honestly,
I guess,
dude.
I mean,
unbelievable.
Is Fox
dude.
really that unflexible? Is that really what it is? And they want Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They need that
break, dude.
Yeah, or actually just Friday, Saturday. I think off Sunday, so this way they avoid the NFL.
Super Bowl,
there's all motive behind it, but it's all a bunch of shit as far as I'm concerned.
All a bunch of shit.
But we got a lot to get into here. Kind of a wide variety of topics. But let's start in the world of the National Football League.
6 for 101, 2 touchdowns. To Evans, touchdown, Tampa Bay. How about that throw? Sam Darnold blasted. Oh my goodness, did he take a hit? In trouble once, brings him down. Lost one for Odell Beckham Jr. Got it down, touchdown.
All right, Tony. So you've always been a big Brady guy. You get him in a standalone. With Al Michaels, Prime Video, home game, season on the line, Baltimore Ravens coming into town. Their offense hasn't looked great, recently either. So I think, this is a big game for both teams. Baltimore, if they're able to come away with this one, 5-3, that's a pretty good spot to be in. And obviously, Tampa losing this 3-5 versus 4-4, kind of a reset, go from there. So obviously we see the magnitude of this game. And as far as, Vegas is concerned, this actually started out as Baltimore being 1.5-point road favorites. Obviously all the ineptitude of the Buccaneers, to start this season, for reasoning for that. But it seems like the wise guys are now on Tampa as the line has now moved to 2.
Wow.
But it's one of those things, whether Tampa's plus 1.5 or -2. I mean, is there really that much of a difference? I know 2-point conversion, all that stuff. But generally speaking, if you're under 3 points, and you think the team's going to win, you're going to be all right, you know? So I don't really think that matters too much. Injuries are a part of this game as well. We got Bateman, Humphrey, Peters, and Gus Edwards, all questionable. Defensive tackle Calais Campbell out. As far as the Bucs are concerned, Antoine Winfield Jr., Sean Murphy Bunting, and Luke Goedeke are all out as well. Julio Jones, what else is new? Questionable, as long as Hakeem Hicks. I know Mike Evans was a little banged up as well. I believe, though, if he's not on the injury report, he should be good to go. I don't see anything. So I guess he's been taken off the injury report. Obviously, him being one of Brady's biggest targets, and of course, we saw him embarrass himself over the weekend, dropping that long touchdown pass. As well as the whole thing with the referee.
I'm Craigo.
Craigie, buddy.
I'm sorry, boys.
But what did you make of that, Tony? The whole, Evans, the refs, the caddy, the Texas A&M connection. They were thinking it was autographs. Do you buy into it?
No, absolutely.
You really think it was autographs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you?
I guess can you really believe anything at face value these days?
No.
Everything's rigged, everything's a scam. So who really knows? But I just thought that was kind of interesting. But I'm and also I was going to mention too, the total here set at 46, and I've really gone back and forth between this one, and I really do think this is a season defining game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So initially I was thinking Lamar here in the victory, but I just as much as I don't want to see it, I just have a tough time thinking that Brady's just going to let this season, slip away, and that they can find a way, to win this one. So that's kind of where my thought process is here. I think it'll be close, but I could see them kind of pulling ahead late, winning this one. And I think too, both teams have been on the lower scoring ends of things. I think this actually might end up being a higher scoring one. So I'm going to say here, let's say it's 14-14 at half. Third quarter, Ravens, going a long touchdown drive, take a 21-14 lead. But then the Bucs, answer back, end up taking control of the game. And then, late push by the Ravens, ties it. But then the Bucs drive down the field, get sucked up in range, maybe about 41 yards out at the buzzer. Bucs cover the number by 1 and win 31-28.
Wow. That's pretty high score. What's the over under? 46?
46, so way over.
I'm a little surprised, honestly. I'm a little surprised, honestly. I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like again, I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but I feel like, Tampa Bay hasn't been scoring nearly as high.
Anything.
Yeah.
Really anything.
As you would expect them to be. And even the Ravens, too. I feel like Lamar has been,
after a hot start.
Contract negotiations, bro.
Huh?
The contract.
You think so?
Yeah. He's, he
Complacent, he's like
represents himself.
Yeah.
Really?
He doesn't have an agent. It's him.
I don't. Is that the wrong idea there?
I don't know. I sometimes I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
if he's
smart enough, that's good for him, huh? Because I feel like the main part of an agent is to be protected.
But the only thing I would say to that is with the agent, obviously there's some type of education they go through and stuff, schooling. So there might be just these small, minute things that a player, didn't study for years and take, exams and stuff that they might miss. That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe he has an advisor close to him that kind of acts as a de facto agent. I don't know, but that would be the only thing I could say.
Yeah. But hey, man, I mean, more power to him if you want to represent himself.
Yeah.
Good for him. He honestly seems like a very educated man.
Oh yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, just
yeah.
listening to him speak and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, I mean, I feel like his offensive production here has been a little lackluster past few weeks.
Yeah, like what, he throw 110 yards?
Like what are we talking about?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would take the under here. I think it's gonna be one of those like just boring games.
Al's gonna be pissed.
So tight, dude. May not even come back to Amazon Prime, honestly, because every Thursday night game, he kind of gets shafted.
Yeah, well, I mean, last week was a shootout.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I really didn't do that. Really do it for me, Brian.
Well, Andy Dalton.
Yeah. But regardless, I don't know. I think that, both teams are going to be struggling to score here. I know, you obviously it's Brady and Jackson, right? So it's a big QB matchup. But when, it comes down to it, they don't face each other. They face the defenses here. And I feel like, on both sides of the ball, just teams have been struggling. I think Lamar is going to throw for 2 picks. Brady may even throw 1. There's going to be drop passes on the Bucs side for sure. Brady's going to be angry. I'm thinking this game might be like, I don't know, 7-6 at the half, honestly.
Wow.
Struggling offensively. And I think maybe one factor that, the Bucs don't have that their defense might struggle with is Lamar running. So I'll say, maybe early fourth quarter, mid fourth quarter, Lamar is able to kind of have a big run, put himself in scoring position, maybe even run in a TD. Ravens take this one, I don't know, 17-10.
Okay. So we got the Ravens +2. And then I wanted to update. We haven't done an update in a while, Tony. So obviously, we're going through the World Series here. I'm at 31 points. You're at 24. Obviously we got some time here, some picks to be made.
Crazy.
So yeah, pencil me in. Bucks -2. You got the Ravens +2. And obviously, too, the advantage that the Ravens have, not that Suckup's bad, but the fact that Justin Tucker, I mean, maybe anything inside of 70, you're going to give him a shot at. I mean, that's a weapon.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
Unbelievable. The spin
really,
on the
leg,
ball.
The confidence, too.
Yeah, the camaraderie with the fellas.
But
it's like it's just refreshing to see because I think kicking these days, gets overlooked. Obviously, especially punting too. People going for it, but with the field. Fired up, obviously John Harbaugh, or Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
No,
what is it? Harbaugh.
No, it's John Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh.
Hey, I've always thought it's a weird name. I always thought it should have been Harbaugh.
You just kind of have to almost mumble.
That's
his
a
last
bite.
name.
It's a bite.
Harbaugh.
No, it's Harbaugh. John Harbaugh. That is actually
John
how you say it.
Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh.
What's his?
That's what I said first.
Brother's
Jim, Michigan.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he was a former special teams coordinator himself, so they've always had outstanding special teams.
Nothing gets Brian more riled than a good kicker.
You think someone will ever make it from 70?
Yes. Has to happen. What is it, 67 right now?
68?
66.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. It's going to happen.
Michael, 70? Will we see it? Will we see it in our lifetime? 70 yards out.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Steroid leg.
Oh, my God, dude. It's so rich.
Fucking chunk.
Dude, I honestly don't really get it because, it's not like this guy is huge. It's not like his fucking tree trunk legs.
But
it's just like technique, dude.
repetition.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A good hold, a good snap. There's a lot of things that go into it. Timing, of course, repetition. So, definitely something that's exciting. I'm excited to watch this game later.
You're making me excited, Brian.
That's a bite. Anyway, let's switch gears now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Dun, 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 dun.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal! My goodness, this is a great shot. Big hit on the far side by McCarr. He flattens Jordan's skull. Oh my goodness! That's the top right back. Terrifying and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliant from Igor Shesterkin. It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
All right, Tony. So back-to-back disappointing losses. And actually, I didn't even realize this. So it's actually 4 losses in a row now. So I don't know if the sky is falling, but not a great feel for the Rangers. And it started out on Tuesday, losing that overtime game to former Ranger backup Alexander Georgiev in the Colorado Avalanche, and then following it up, and it seems like for whatever reason the Islanders just seem to have their number with a 3-0 shutout loss at home to Ilya Sorokin and the New York Islanders. And obviously this was a halak game. And I know 3 goals, backup tender, not the end of the world, Tony, but I think this speaks to my point of what I was saying, that I just don't know. I feel like you're punting games starting Halak and net. And I know obviously you got to score, but he's just not capable of giving you a dominant performance. And I think Louis Domingue has that in him. And I really think within the next couple of weeks, we're going to see them make that switch.
Honestly, you may not be wrong here. Geez, you and Louis Domingue, huh?
I mean,
so
fresh
funny.
legs. But he did it on the biggest stage too, Tony.
He did.
I know Halak did it, but Halak did it 10 years ago. He's too old. He doesn't have reflexes. You know what I mean? They might as well have Mike Smith be the backup.
No, yeah. Dude. But no, yeah. I think you're right here. I understand we didn't score last night. But I mean, when you start looking at the numbers of this game, right? I think we had like 41 shots on goal, right? That's a shit ton of shots on goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were pushing down the ice. We were winning faceoffs. We pretty much went even. I think with the Islanders, we had 24 faceoff wins. They had 25, right? So I mean, our centers, Trocheck was doing a good job. Our hits, I think we had over 40 hits in this game too. We were playing physical. We were playing good hockey. You have to kind of tip your hat to Sorokin here. 41 saves for the shutout here. I mean, the man was working. He was certainly earning his salary here. And I mean, the two goals, both were by Palmieri, I believe. Yeah, Kyle Palmieri. Unfortunately, not necessarily that it was the defensive fault here, but they were kind of semi-broken plays where the Islanders were set up in their offensive zone here. Rangers kind of on the back of their heels a little bit here, just trying to defend the puck, defend their own net. I think the first goal was like off a rebound. Rangers had to clear it, failed to clear. Palmieri, center ice, goes, top shelf glove side. And then the second goal was basically the same one, right? So, Halak maybe, he was on the Islanders for a while, so maybe the Islanders know something that, the Rangers don't, in a weakness in Halak, because Palmieri just seemed to snipe that, top shelf glove side twice, dude, right over Halak's shoulder. And, he just had basically no chance to save it. He just couldn't get up there with his arm. So honestly, I think starting Halak in this game was probably a bad choice. Like I mentioned, he was the goaltender for the Islanders for a while now. I don't know, a few years ago, whatever it was. But, if you're Gallant, you have to assume, well, not only is Shesterkin better, but, players on the Islanders have seen Halak. Like they've practiced against him. They played against him. Like they know what his tendencies are as a tender. They know what his weaknesses are. They exploited that. Albeit, the Rangers did a great job on defending them. I mean, again, you look at these stats here. I think Islanders had maybe 30 shots, 29 shots on net, right? And again, I mean, you can't, I guess, tip your hat to them as well, because they played a good game. They played solid defense. Sorokin killed it. They had a lot of block shots. That's 16 block shots here to Rangers 14. This really was, like, score aside, this was a close game that was really fun to watch. Of course, you mentioned the rivalry of the two New York teams on top of that. It made for some great hockey. Unfortunately, it was just, the Islanders finding the back of the net behind Halak. And, you do have to think, like, if Shesterkin's in there, he's probably making those saves. If Domingue is in there, they haven't seen much of Domingue. They don't really know his tendencies. So obviously a really tough loss. Here at the UBS Arena. And you mentioned, fourth straight loss for the Rangers here. I guess the only good thing you could say is that, yes, the Rangers have been playing strong hockey. They lost to a team like the Avalanche in overtime. And I forget who else they lost to. Maybe it was the Sharks in overtime. So, out of these, these four losses, they do get 2 points, which is nice, I suppose. So they're not dropping so much in the points column here because they're forcing, games into overtime. But I mean, 3-0 shutout. It's a little demeaning, especially when the Rangers are playing that hard hockey and getting a lot of shots on net and playing physical and seemingly doing, most everything right. Besides those couple of mistakes that the Islanders are, capitalizing on. But obviously there's always some room for improvement here. I don't think the sky is falling for the Rangers quite yet. It's still early. They're playing good hockey. They're fundamentally sound still. And they're, they're quick to the puck. They're playing good hockey. Like I said, unfortunately, just these outcomes, sometimes the puck to kind of, overcome some adversities here. I like this test. All right. This is going to create a stronger New York Ranger team further down the line of the season. And I think it's going to benefit us, once we start finding the back of the net here.
And listen, I think obviously we know that the talent of this team, there's a lot of, good players on it, of course, but I honestly think this is what's going to happen. And I don't want this to happen necessarily because, no one wants your team to go through struggles. But I think within the next month, Rangers will be in a similar spot they are now, hovering around 500, losing to some teams that they shouldn't. And I think that'll be the segue for Gerard Gallant to be fired. I just don't think he's the right guy. And I think they need to do that sooner rather than later. They can use it as a spark. And like I had mentioned to you prior to the show, you just want to avoid being that team that has a surprise good season and then the terrible follow-up second season. And it just hasn't been a good start so far. I think the offense could be a lot better. I know you speak to pucks dropping a certain way and stuff. And one thing that I think that, overall that they're going to have to make up for, and I'm not saying that he's not going to have a good season, but I have a funny suspicion, Tony, that Chris Kreider, maybe 30 goals this season. Like there's going to be some offensive production you're going to make up for. Maybe the bread man finally, starts scoring a little more, as well as Mika. But I think that's going to be something that they're going to do is they were so Kreider reliant last year. And I think that's why they ended up losing in the playoffs because he didn't really have a good playoff.
Right.
So I think it's just getting a more balanced attack and, just better execution. Because you look at the 5 games that they've lost here, most of them have been, and I know obviously, the games that Halak has been in net, they haven't necessarily been, score, he's obviously given up goals, but they haven't really scored. I mean, you think about the 4 losses, 2 goals against the Sharks, 1 goal against the Jackets, 2 goals against the Avalanche in overtime, and then getting shut out last night. So
in what?
Overtime, that's not a lot of offensive production.
No, it's not at all. And again, that's something from the Islanders we're kind of, I guess, used to seeing. The Islanders, the Rangers were kind of used to seeing, is the lack of offense. But I think it's different. It's different now because I feel like our lack of offense, last season, was a lot because of just no shots on goal. Like not enough shots on goal, waiting for that perfect pass, that perfect opportunity to shoot the puck. I don't know. Getting rid of Gallant, I think, is going to be kind of tough. I don't think it's necessarily his fault. I mean, other than starting Halak last night, he seems to be coaching the Rangers really well and making good decisions. And again, it seems like the Rangers are backing him up a little bit. So I don't know. We'll see.
Time will tell.
It is going to be tough if mid-season they're hovering around 500 and decisions have to be made. I would think that the Rangers organization would rather make a on-the-ice acquisition rather than get rid of Gallant mid-season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, just for some continuity. But we'll of course have to see what happens. And they'll resume play actually on Saturday in Dallas, 2:00 spot. I hate, Tony, those 2:00 games on the weekend. I swear to God, every single one goes the exact opposite of what you think.
Yeah.
Teams are flat. Do you think it's a body clock thing?
Definitely. They're usually playing at night.
Yeah. So I don't like those games, but that's a game you got to win. I mean, you've lost 4 straight. You've been embarrassed, and we didn't really talk about it too much, but I think, and I know Colorado, is expected to be one of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup again this year, but I think it's embarrassing losing to your last year's backup goalie. I really do. And I just, and then to follow that up, getting shut out, I just, it's not a good feeling. And you have to, when you're going through something like this, you have to attack it, go right after it right away. Otherwise, it turns into something that can get out of hand quick. So you want to see that start on Saturday. So, in Dallas too. So definitely a tricky spot. I mean, you'd think, they'd be well rested and ready to go. But of course, time will tell. We got a full slate tonight of games. So we could go 4 apiece. And we'll start with you, Tony. What do you got?
All right, dude, let's go. Like you mentioned, full slate, exciting Thursday of hockey here. You're looking at some of these matchups here. I actually have a couple ideas on where Brian's going to go with some of these matchups. But the first matchup,
Bruins.
what?
No, I was just honestly kidding.
Are you kidding me, dude? No, I'm gonna go with the Blues. Honestly, they're gonna be in Nashville, 8 o'clock tonight on Hulu, baby.
So you're watching.
Coveted Hulu game here. You'll get the Blues and the Predators here. Blues are 3-2. Predators 2-4-1 here. So a little bit of a slow start for them. Not a lot of offensive production, from their big guys right here. But Tarasenko is kind of started out this season the way he starts out most seasons, right? He's got 6 points in the first 5 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, creating the goal opportunities, for his other players with 4 assists, getting goals, when he has those opportunities as well with those 2 goals. I'm expecting him to have another goal tonight, maybe 2 assists. Blues take this one 4-1.
I like it. All right, so I'm gonna go with the Oilers. Tricky spot. I'm not saying it's the Blackhawks. While they're not expected to be good this season, 4-2 start. The Oilers come in at 4-3. And at the United Center, obviously attendance has waned, over the past couple of years just because of the ineptitude of the team. But I think it's a little. It's a little different this year, and I don't know if they're trying to do everything they can to kind of salvage one more decent season. With Kane, before he inevitably leaves the team. But I want to say here, Edmonton on a back-to-back, which is interesting. So, but I guess actually Stuart Skinner started last night, so I would imagine Campbell would be in net tonight. So I think that's a good spot for them to be in. And 3 goals last night against the Blues, who are also on a back-to-back. So I think more offense here, and I do think Campbell can kind of keep the Chicago attack at bay. So I'm gonna say 5-1 Oilers on the road, steamrolling the Blackhawks in Chicago.
Love it, dude. My next pick, I'm gonna go with Brian's favorite team, the Boston Bruins, in the TD Garden tonight. I mean, they're off to an incredibly hot start. Have not lost the game at home actually yet. They're 5-0 at home, 6-1 on the season here. And I understand, I'm pretty, bullish on the Red Wings here. But I mean, hey, I think Boston right now, they're hot. They're the better team. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They beat the Ducks in a shootout, excuse me. Minnesota in overtime, and Dallas most recently 3-1. Detroit coming off a loss against New Jersey, actually. And we can talk about the Devils another day, but they're looking pretty solid. But the Bruins, David Pastrnak, okay, 12 points, 5 goals, 7 assists. I think 3 power play assists, 1 power play goal. Right. So not only is he producing on special teams here when they have a man advantage, but he's producing on 5-on-5 hockey as well. You got to love that. And that's just, one guy. It's one guy on the team. Not to mention, the rest of the team, like Bergeron and Marchand and company. But yeah, dude, like I said, Bruins, the better team. I mean, they're swarming on offense here. Give me the Bruins here. Against Detroit. I think Allmark should be starting tonight, right? And I would say he can get a shutout first of the season here, continuing his perfect record as he is 5-0 with the Bruins. Bruins win 3-0.
Wow. So they've been competitive in a couple games, but I think they're in contention to have the number 1 pick here. So I'm gonna take the Maple Leafs over the Sharks. This game in San Jose, and they are going with Kallgren in net, who I don't think is a halak by any means. So I think he can give them a competitive effort out there. And against the Sharks, I don't think he should really struggle. So give me Toronto here. I think you're gonna see Austin Matthews have a great game. 2 goals, 2 assists. Tavares will have 2 assists as well. 6-1, the Maple Leafs over the Sharks.
F&A, dude.
You were going to take it?
I actually was, yeah, dude. Maybe with the Sharks. Come on, good pick here. But I think I'm gonna go. Honestly, it seems like it's gonna be honestly one of Brian's favorite teams this season. The Sabres.
The Sabertoots.
Hell yeah, dude. They're home hosting the Canadiens. Canadiens, 3-4. Obviously, you talk about the talent of Suzuki and their rookie, whose name is escaping me right now. Something with a C or K or but anyway, how's it gonna bother me? Cole Caulfield. Regardless, the Bruins seemingly, off to a pretty good start. Dahlin is solid as one of the forwards, and Alex Took over here. 6 goals already on the season in the first 6 games, right? He's a big producer of offense here for Buffalo. He just every time he gets the puck, he's just so aggressive in terms of shooting. He just shoots the puck immediately. He knows he gets the puck, he has a chance, he shoots the puck right away. He gets pucks on net. He creates good opportunities for Buffalo. I think with the Canadiens having a little bit of a tough time on defense this season so far, he's gonna get a lot of looks. He's got 17 shots on goal for the season already. I would expect him to have like 8, honestly, tonight, with maybe a goal or 2. So I would say give me the Sabres winning 5-2.
All right. I am gonna take a team. I don't know if I've ever actually picked them before. But give me the Ottawa Senators. We talked about the Wild, and I know they won last game, but I think they're still going to have a terrible season. It's just honestly a feeling that they have. And the Senators at home, not getting the love from the bookmakers, home dogs here. So I think, they want to show them up and show that, they deserve, to be favored here. So I'm going to say, this is a game that might start out, tight, but at the end of the day, I think Chachuk has the hat trick in a 4-2 Senators victory over the Minnesota Wild.
Is that the last game?
One more.
All right, dude. Well, you know what? Brian's going with Brendan Chachuk over there in Ottawa. I'm going to go with Matthew Chachuk over in Florida.
Brothers?
Yeah, brothers.
Okay.
He's going to be visiting the Philadelphia Flyers here in Philly. We talk about the Flyers and honestly how they have a good mix of youth and veteran players here. But I mean, they're off to a good start here, but I just think that overall, Florida here has just more tools, more speed, more pizzazz, honestly, to it. It's the battle of the 4-2 teams here. Tortorella, I understand, he's behind the bench. I think he got into, I was reading some article.
Tried.
That he almost got into a fight, I think, with a Winnipeg player when they played them this season. Yeah, it was absolutely it's classic.
Good old Torty.
Tortorella, dude.
Still thinking he's a player.
Yeah, literally though. But anyway, I just think Florida's are coming to Philly here. And they're gonna cause some damage. I understand,
like the Knicks,
dude. Like I said, I understand that. And the Flyers are good. Kevin Hayes is off to a hot start. And you absolutely love to see that, especially being the former Ranger himself. They lost their last 2 out of 5 games. Excuse me.
So what do you love to see
actually, it's 2 out of 3 too. But they lost to Florida too in a tight 4-3 loss here at Florida. I do think Florida's gonna come in here and be a little bit more of a decisive victory. You look at this; it was a 4-3 loss the last game. Obviously being a pretty tight game in Florida, but I mean, if you look at these numbers here, Florida relied on Carter Verhaeghe for 2 goals, right? And he's been pretty hot, pretty even in terms of shots on net here. But I mean, the Panthers just dominated in faceoffs. Unfortunately, we're able to kind of convert on a lot of those face-off winning opportunities. But I think Panthers are making an adjustment in the last few games and just getting more shots on net, right? So they're recognizing they're winning the face-offs and they're just putting pucks on net, right? And they're getting goals because of that. So I think that's why I think the margin is going to be a little bit different here. I say Panthers win this game 5-2.
All right. I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from there.
Do you?
I know the Flyers have had a good start, but I do think, the Panthers, a lot of talent there. So I'm going to make this pick, and it's literally just because of a law of averages situation. Through 7 games, the Canucks find themselves without a win. They're in Seattle tonight at the Climate Pledge Arena. I haven't heard that one before. And I think it's just they're going to win. I mean, they're not going to go through this season without a win. So I think they muster up some offense. And despite McCann having 2 goals for the Kraken, I think Peterson has 2 goals himself, and it gets a little help from his teammates. They pull ahead in the 3rd period here with about 2 minutes left. 3-2 Canucks over the Kraken. First victory of the NHL season. I believe the last team to get on the board in the league as far as wins.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I think they're going to be the last team to get their first win.
Oh yeah, that's correct.
So
they will be.
They can alleviate any of those concerns. So yeah, full action, full slate tonight. And obviously, I just can't wait to see that game on Saturday between the Stars and the Rangers. It's go time. Let's go. Let's turn the season around.
Yes, baby.
And we have the horses. It's all about producing. So let's get it done. But for now, let's go to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls go! LeBron James at the buzzer! He banks in the 3! And the Lakers win the game!
All right. So before we get to the Knicks OT win against the Hornets, how insane is it? And I know there's a lot of drama associated with these teams, but the combined record, Michael, of the Lakers and the Nets this year, 1-7. You had the Nets lose 110-99 to the Bucks, and then the Lakers last night without Russell Westbrook 110-99 to the Nuggets. Both 2 chaotic situations, lots of talent. Where do they go from here?
They're both 0-4.
So it's 1-7 combined. So the Nets are 1-3.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think they're going to make a trade with each other.
Trade with each other. I mean, Westbrook for Kyrie does make sense to some levels, but it's just like the Lakers have to give them something. They're not going to just hand them Kyrie.
Maybe a pick in the future.
Gave them all the Pelicans for Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And we talked about that before too.
Yeah, AD struggle bus.
Do you think though you put him in a different situation, you get different results? Or
apparently he's tight. He's playing center.
So that's really what it comes down to. But it's like,
remember I told you Anthony Davis doesn't play center.
But like, can't you like just not even have a center and just have 2 forwards and 3 guards at this point?
Oh, that's funny. I think the number here is for someone just said you got to change the call-in number. I think it's Tony's. Oh, that's so funny. It's Renee's.
Oh, yeah, but
Why?
Renee, I like Renee working the switchboard, fielding calls. I think that's good.
That'd be funny. Yeah.
Yeah. She's cheesing about it.
Yeah, we'll put it in right now.
But I just think that it's embarrassing, and there's got to be some reaction sooner than later. This is LeBron's first 0-4 start since his rookie year.
Wow.
So
how do you feel, dude?
I feel like it's like after what happened last year, I feel like I'm numb to this point. It's no expectations.
Wow.
You think they figure it out, but it's like, you just want to see some type of action, some type of response. And I just don't know if we're going to get one. Honestly, I really don't. So that's definitely a situation to monitor. I did mention the Knicks after last night's overtime win against the Hornets, 134-131. They moved to 3-1 on the season, 3-0 at home. And looking at the numbers here, Jalen Brunson making his presence felt, 27 points, 13 assists. RJ Barrett, 22 points on 9-21 shooting. Also did have 8 rebounds. Julius Randle, a solid 17 points, 6 boards. They made 11 3-pointers.
I mean, that's what
shot
happens
36%
when you're the best team in the East.
Now, the Hornets, especially without Ball, not expected to be very good here. So, I mean, what do you make out from this game here? I mean, obviously
from the Knicks.
Yeah, you got
we are the New York Knicks
in the 4th.
We are the New York Knicks,
and
we are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. Say go New York, go New York, go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Bronx, we got some comments. Knicks all day, he says. That's awesome. Jesse, how trash did the Nets offense look in the second half? They put up 60 points in the first half and 24 points in the third. And fourth quarter, up to 3 minutes left was when I was watching. Lakers get whatever you can for 80. Let's get Russell. Let Russell be the star of the 12th team in the West.
I'll take 50-year-old JJ Redick over any shot on the Lakers. And that's it. I always talk about this. Like, I think, obviously Redick just retired, but like Ray Allen, I still think
could come out here. Yeah.
Just hit some threes in the corner. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, all in all, though, I mean,
we're 3-1.
Yeah, you feel as good as you can be right now. Is there anything you want to see differently here?
A little bit more from RJ, I guess, but
efficiency wise.
Yeah, no, just like I don't know, making hit. Like I want to see his role with what it's going to be because they're still trying to figure out all how to play together. But it's awesome right now. And I remember on the Michael K show before the NBA started, they were saying how the Nets are going to have 20 more wins, and then I'm just like, do you guys even know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
The Nets?
Come on.
They're in shambles.
Yeah.
They don't want to be there. We were talking about this the other day. How can a fan base be riled? Can you imagine in Brooklyn Nets? Remember with Mikhail Prochovic and fucking Jay-Z with they had the blueprint right across from the Garden looking at them, and it said the blueprint to success.
Yeah. It just seems like the Nets are set up to fail and should have stayed in New Jersey. But
yeah, dude, history there. ABA.
And what's an underrated part of this Knicks win and just their success so far this season? And I know we got into foul trouble earlier in the year, but Mitch, 6 blocks. I mean, if you're going to get 5 or 6 blocks from your center, that's setting the tone up the middle, and that's what you need.
Like, because, and what that means. He got 6 blocks, but he had 16 adjusted shots.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. So
that word technically blocks.
And Jesse says here, is there too much pressure on Brunson to take the last shot and be that guy?
No, no, not at all. Julius Randle said it yesterday in the presser. He's relieving a lot of pressure for everyone to make it easier for them.
Yeah.
So he's just there. If he does take the last second shot, that's fine, but they're both more than comfortable taking it. You saw RJ hit big game winners last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Brunson paying dividends.
Did Anthony leave? Mary says.
We got an MIA call on Anthony.
What?
I knew your mother asked if you left.
Oh, no, I'm here.
He's here. He's just chilling. This is NBA time.
It's funny, Mom.
Fix the Yellow Ranger box behind you. It's just like tilted. It looks better there. Oh,
dude, there we go.
I'm actually editing. And this is the soft
stuff.
Yeah, dude.
There we go. Multitasking at his finest.
Yes.
But we know what time it is, Michael.
Oh.
The PRIZM pack reveal.
Yes.
Renee loves it.
Let's get the music.
It's Renee's favorite part of the day.
Get the music. Give me some music.
I got a new song for you. See if this is classic NBA Jam.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. From the Houston Rockets, Kevin Porter Jr.
Nice. Dude, we got his rookie card. Let's go.
Let's go. He just had 50 last year, was it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Let's see what else we got here. I like giving you, good ones up top. All right. So a couple of different assignments here. We'll go with the first one. Out of the University of Tennessee, from the Philadelphia 76ers, Jaden Springer.
Wow.
So some more youth to add to the collection.
Yeah.
From the Detroit Pistons, Josh Jackson.
Nice, dude. You're a little sad about him, huh?
Yeah.
You were a huge fan.
Yeah, and then, just didn't work out in the Suns, but we'll see if it works out in the Motor City. And we're going with a grizzled vet, a guy that was really one of the top shot blockers, rebounders in the league. Now he's more of a role player. Serge Ibaka.
Nice, dude. That would have been doper if it was the that was nice. It would have been sicker if it was his OKC card, but
it would have. But hey, so a different type of pull today. I like Porter.
Yeah, he's good, Tony.
You know, I've always thought he was pretty good.
Me too.
Do you, I'm not familiar with Springer.
No. I just said wow, like because I just wanted to hype it up.
Just want to see here. How funny is the first sentence on the back of this card? Adding some juice to their squad with the 28th pick of the 2021 draft. So I'm guessing, you know, probably two-way deal with the G League and all that. But hey, if he ends up panning out, he ends up panning out. Porter was big.
Yeah.
Serge.
Now we have him
classic.
and his running mate Green.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get the whole Houston starting five. But gotta love the PRIZM pack reveal. And last thing that I wanted to mention here, we did have the Butterfield Bermuda Championship from Port Royal, you know, starting off today. And right now in the lead out of the U.S. here, Austin Smotherman, 7 under through 16 holes. So we'll keep an eye out on this one. Not your usual big names in this tournament. You got S.H. Kim, Harry Higgs, Lucas Glover, Martin Trainer, Thomas Detry. So some of the lesser known guys on tour get to make a name for themselves. And what a beautiful course there in Port Royal. So definitely am looking forward to watching some of this over the weekend.
Have you played there before?
I have not played there before, but actually my sales rep from ABC Supply has. He said it was unbelievable. Right in the ocean, a bunch of the holes there. So Bermuda, good stuff. You know, known for their rum cakes and rum swizzles. Both are excellent, by the way.
Rum swizzle? What's that?
What is that?
It's just a drink.
What's a rum
I don't
swizzle?
know. It
Like a
originates in
mint
Aruba.
Barnes is very, you know what's funny? Barnes is like a tropical island
and
guy.
that's
With
always
no one
been-
knows it. It's
That's
like
where all our
undercover.
vacations have been.
Yeah.
And actually, you know how I have the company trip every year. This year, we're going back to Jamaica. We went there in 2019. Same resort, Montego Bay. So excited for that one.
Montego.
Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take
So
it to Bermuda.
we still got some time,
Bahamas.
but it's just nice.
Come on, pretty mama.
Sorry, Barnes.
Tiago, Montego, baby, why don't we go hit a Kokomo's? We'll get there fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. Run out and Kokomo.
Bermuda.
Beach Boys, dude.
Come on, dude.
The Beach
That was
Boys.
pretty
Couple
good.
things. Number one, if you guys don't make that a bite, I'm gonna be tight. Okay, that's got to be a bite.
It's a long bite.
It
Right?
doesn't
I think
matter.
it was
It
good.
doesn't
It was
matter.
good.
That's
They
good.
do it
No,
at
yeah.
98.7
Yeah,
with
yeah.
freaking
No.
Dave.
That's good. And I really think, have you guys ever done any musicals in your day?
Yeah,
you
I was
guys
in the drama club when I was
really?
elementary
No,
school.
I actually did a couple of plays myself in middle school. Believe it or
I
not.
wish I could see that.
Were you
you
gonna
probably
say something
start.
though?
I did like acting classes at
Singing?
Ludlow. No, it's just
Um,
that's it.
Oh, just acting, no singing.
Yeah.
And-
But dude, final last words. Really nice. What Renee? Go ahead, Renee.
Did you buy the recordings of your plays?
No.
Um,
No.
Bye.
Like,
But I know one of them I was in was Guys and Dolls.
You were in
Wow.
Guys and Dolls?
Yeah. I think I was the blind man.
Oh.
So, a nonverbal role. They tried me in some bigger roles. Obviously, I got a little nervous and wasn't cut out for it. But honestly, that's not me. Renee, I feel like you starred in a couple dramas. didn't you?
Oh yes.
yeah.
Tell them who you were
I was Sharpay Evans.
from High School Musical.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I have a whole acting binder.
A
of mine.
binder. But that's good stuff. Do we have any tape? Do we have any tape?
Of it on tape?
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, that's got to be.
Yeah.
Can we do that as like a screen time
Yeah.
review?
Oh, I
Renee
can
in
review
action?
it. Yeah.
Let's do
That's
it.
funny.
And you mentioned some final words here. Jesse's
I-
saying fire Boone and Cashman.
I think those are great final words. You always say, "Do we have anything else?" Fellas?
That's how we leave it. That's how we set the tone.
Yeah.
But what a great show, and really appreciate everybody tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. Checking out those archives on the YouTube page. Tony in costume. All of that, as well as the merch, downtimetv.com. Everybody enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.
Oh, like when I texted you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I think the Wi-Fi